before we get started, let me drop the background music to let y'all know that y'all in the lounge, baby. Let's go. There we go. Now we in the building. The mood has been set. What's up, people? How y'all doing tonight? Welcome back to another episode in the lounge. And as you can see, I am not alone. Had to bring in my dude, Mr. Trent Tech is here. What's up? The troublemaker himself. How you doing, man?
I ain't causing no trouble today.
That's right. I got him on the stream, so he can't cause trouble tonight, y'all.
Nah, I'm just chilling. If I'm causing trouble, that's because I'm bored.
Well, hopefully you won't be bored, man. I appreciate you making the time, so thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem.
All right, so you put out a couple of tweets very, very recently I want to talk about. The first one I want to talk about is the one that we were just chit-chatting with right before we went live here, and that is the one about people think that you're going to switch back to iPhone. So for those of y'all who are not aware, Trenton, much like myself, we both own the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and that is now his main phone. That is his full-time device. Even though I think he still has an iPhone, he's using his S22 Ultra as his main device. But he made a video recently, a video that got almost 25,000 views now. He made a video recently talking about why he's switching full-time to the S22 Ultra. And you know how people are on the internet, they don't really believe you when you say you're switching. So talk to us about that, and what are some of the things that made you move over to the S22 Ultra full time, and any messages you have for the people that don't believe you're going to stick around with the S22
Ultra? So I actually wanted to change directions because I've been with the iPhone for 3 to 4 years now. And originally when I came to YouTube, I was 100% on Android. You couldn't get me to touch an iPhone. And at one point, I was just like, screw it, I'll try it or whatnot. And when I started using an iPhone, I was like, oh, okay, there's these things that I can do better with an iPhone as a creator. One of the things I do is I will share the video from YouTube. And when it goes into Twitter, it puts the title in there, it puts the link in there. And basically, it's just kind of set up for people who are on iPhone. If they want to watch the video, they can click the link and go to the right spot. Same thing with Android. They can do the same thing. And when I was on Android, if I did that same share link, I wouldn't get the title. So I'd have to type the whole thing in. So there weren't like major things. It was just like little stuff with iOS that drew me to it. And I've always maintained this. And I said it myself. I was like, if I was not a YouTube creator, if I wasn't on YouTube and I didn't have a certain workflow, I probably wouldn't own an iPhone. I probably wouldn't even own this Mac Mini that I have right now. So literally getting on YouTube and getting into tech brought me to the iPhone. The only issue is that the iPhone hasn't changed much over like the time that I've had it. A lot of features that you get on iPhone are features that have been around for a long time with Android, and it looks all new and shiny on Apple. But once again, with Android, it's been there. And for the longest time, LeBaron, me and LeBaron, we would just go back and forth between iPhone and Samsung and all that stuff. But after a while, like I said, I just felt the itch to go back to Samsung because I originally had a Note 9. And I returned the Note 9 and I got an iPhone XR, which I know a lot. I think it was iPhone. It wasn't the 10R, it was the 10. It was the 10 at the time. And everybody was looking at me crazy because, oh, $1,000 phone and all that. But eventually it came back around and I decided that with this phone, I'm not going to do the tech review. I'm not going to have a camera moving across a slider on a tripod. I'm not going to go out in the middle of the woods and sit this up in a tree and hit it from 18 different angles. I'm just going to talk about the phone like a regular person would talk about the phone, because there's this really big disconnect between tech reviewers and normal people. And as much as people say dynamic range, as much as people say DDR, LDR, LiDAR, all that different stuff, regular people don't care about that. So I decided to make a video about switching, because most videos about switching when it comes to tech YouTube is I'm switching to this phone. they switch to it for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then they're back on their original device. And I'm like, if I'm going to make a switching video, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell everybody every single reason that I can think of why I'm switching. And so far, it's gotten a good, positive type of feedback. Of course, you have a lot of people that are like, why don't you get rid of your iPhone? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? But my thing is, it's me. Like when I told everybody in the video, I said, the S22 Ultra is going to be my main device, because in the real world, people don't do all or nothing. And for whatever reason, everybody thinks in tech, you have to be all Samsung, or you have to be all Apple, or you have to be all Google. It's like, no, I can use this as my main phone to do 98% of the stuff that I need. Then there's times where I need to use my iPhone for stuff because it's not available on the S22 Ultra. However, once again, even if you make a 30-minute long video telling people every single thing and explaining it, you still have people who literally come back to your videos just to say, you're going to switch. You're going to switch back. I'm going to expose you. I'm waiting for you to switch back so I can tell everybody I was right. Like, they don't even care about you. They care enough to where they want to be right and saying that, aha, I got you. You're a fraud, So that's basically the gist of it in 5 minutes, I guess.
It's so silly like that. People are out there like that. They, like you said, they don't really care about you per se. They just want to have their got you moment so they can expose you. It is like one of the more annoying things for me personally, being a guy who's out there about being the captain of Team Apple, is when I tweet from an Android and people are like, oh, you're tweeting from an Android. Yeah, I have like 9 of them in my house. Of course I'm tweeting from an Android. Like, yo, I use an Android every day of my life, okay? I might call myself the captain of Team Apple, but I never said I was anti-Android. I just said I prefer Apple, but I still use Android every single day, man. But people, like you said, it's either all or nothing with some of these tech nerds. They don't understand that you can use both OSs and be comfortable and be all right. So it's very weird.
Yeah, and what's weird is the duality that people are willing to accept in some areas, but not willing to accept in other areas. So here's the first duality. And for whatever reason in YouTube, you're not allowed to hold both of these phones. You're not allowed to be comfortable with both. You have to pick one or the other. However, if you go to a gamer's house, if they have Xbox and a PS5, everybody's cool with it. No one gives them shit. They're just like, oh, you got both? Sweet. Congratulations. If you go to somebody who's into cars, let's say someone has a Chevy and they have a Ford in their front yard, nobody's, losing their mind. Oh my God, you got a Ford too? I thought you were 100% Chevy guy. How dare you? Like, no, it's for whatever reason with Apple and Samsung, it's this stupidly polarizing thing. The only other thing I think that comes close to that is when you go and you see somebody, they have a Mac and they have a PC. And that's when people are like, well, why do you have both? Like, well, you use one for one thing, you use one for the other. But if anything, I would have more experience and more depth by owning both of them over a long period of time, instead of saying, I'm using this, now I'm using this, now I'm using this, now I'm using this. Like, wouldn't you rather hear it from somebody that's, using both of them?
Yeah, and that's like the thing about being a tech creator. If you are a tech creator doing content on mobile phones, how can we take your thoughts and opinions seriously if you only use iPhone or only use Android? Even if you're like an all Apple channel, you're going to inevitably make comparisons to Android. Even if you're an all Android channel, inevitably you're going to have to make comparisons to Apple and iPhone. It's pretty difficult for you to do that if you've never used the other one. So you have, even if you don't own the other one, at some point you have to use the other one for a period of time to be able to give a valid opinion about one or the other as it relates to whatever you choose to use personally. So I always laugh, and I find it really, really hard to believe when somebody says, I've never used an iPhone or I've never used Android. I'm like, really? I don't know. I mean, as a tech creator, I find it hard for a tech creator to be like, I've never used an iPhone or Android. I'm like, how are you a tech creator and you've never used an iPhone or an Android? Come on now. Come on. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where some people are in their own lanes and stuff, but the other thing is I'm in IT and there's not I only use XYZ. You have people that use Windows, you have people that use Macs, you have people that use Linux, you have people that use iOS, Android, and 99% of the time, carrying two phones makes my job easier. If I go downstairs and someone's like, hey, I'm trying to do this, they have an Android phone, boom, pull out my Android phone, go through the same steps and processes that I go through on my phone to help them out. Vice versa, somebody has an iPhone, pull out the iPhone, go through the same steps, help them figure it out. And I just roll from there. And I've looked at the comments of that video and it actually surprised me because never would I have thought that there were so many people that have the same situation as me. I've seen comment after comment after comment where people are like, yeah, I got the 13 Pro Max and I got the S22 Ultra. I completely agree with what you're saying. Or some people who agree with most things but disagree, we still see it eye to eye. And there were a lot of people who even came out and said, hey, I just left Android and I just picked up an iPhone. And a lot of things that you said resonated with how I feel about having an iPhone. And then there's other people who came out and said, I just went from an iPhone 13 or iPhone 12 to Android. And a lot of the stuff that you said resonates with it. So that's the thing. It's not about slamming Apple. It's not about slamming Samsung. It's about connecting with people who have had a similar experience. And there's a lot of people who feel like they've been left behind because there's so many tech videos where the discussion just turns into which is better. Okay, which is the better phone? And that's not the question you need to ask, which is the better phone. The question that you have to ask is which is the better phone for you. If you don't like tinkering with a bunch of stuff, I'm not going to tell you to go buy S22 Ultra if it has better dynamic range. You're going to hate the experience. You're going to hate it because you have to sit there and tweak all these different things for your experience. But at the same time, if you're somebody that maybe you want a hands-off experience, maybe you want someone else to drive and do the updates and all that stuff, I'll point you towards an iPhone and then we'll just figure it out from there. But I'm not doing that content anymore about better, which is better, because everybody has different preferences. It's probably why I'll never do a phone of the year, because no one can ever agree on on what is good for everyone.
Well, with the phone of the year stuff, it's not really about what phone is good for everyone. At least when I do it, I talk about things that I like the most. That's why I always give the disclaimer before I do my phone of the year awards. The awards are based on phones that I've actually used throughout the course of the year. So if your favorite phone doesn't make my list of phones, there's a good chance that I might not have used that particular phone. So don't take it too seriously. So that's just how I feel about it. We got some people in the chat here. Agents like Fast Viper, you got to try both iOS and Android if you want to give an honest opinion. I agree. As a tech creator, you got to use both. Even if you prefer one or the other, I find it hard when tech creators are like, yeah, I've never used an iPhone or I've never used Android. I'm like, how are you talking to? You can't talk about them if you've never used both of them. Even Renee Ritchie, who is diehard Apple, buys a Pixel every year. Like, you got to have that range of knowledge about the technology that we're talking about out here. So, and look at this guy, Jason Lewis, is in the building. I haven't seen you in forever, man. How you doing, my dude? How you doing? Good to see you. He lives. He's alive. Like it. But yeah, the internet, as you know, Trent, you're on the internet every day. The internet is crazy. It's just people are out of their mind. They love to like have console wars and tech wars. And at the end of the day, like you said, ultimately it comes down to personal preference. If the iPhone better fits your lifestyle, then use the iPhone. If the Android better fits your lifestyle, use the Android. At the end of the day, it's up to you. and nobody else can tell you how to run your life or what technology works best for you. You have to make that decision for yourself. And if somebody else doesn't like that, that's their problem. That's not your problem. They're not paying your bills. So I'm just like, Daryl, what's going on, man? What's going on?
Yeah, it's just weird. And I've even responded to some comments. Well, why do you do that? Well, why do you got two phones? Why? Okay, I have two phones because I use them for work. I have two phones because I enjoy having two phones. I have two phones because one day the iPhone will do something that the S22 can't do, and then the other day there will be something I do on the S22 that I can't find on my iPhone. So I'm just having the best of both worlds.
All right. I wasn't expecting to have this conversation tonight, but we're out to have it since you kind of alluded to it, but not quite. So why do I have two phones, or why do we have multiple phones? Right. I'm a tech reviewer, so I have multiple phones in my house, but that's my prerogative. Also, I have two phones because I can afford two phones. Okay. And some people that might send them the wrong feeling. Like, I can't do that. Well, how is that my problem? I mean, this is going to sound kind of heartless, and some people's feelings are going to get hurt. But listen, I worked hard to get to where I am in life. Okay, I did my time in school, and high school, and college, and undergrad, and going through crappy jobs to get to where I am to get to a place in my life where I can afford to buy multiple phones. I'm not going to feel bad because I put in the work, and you're mad that I have two phones, and maybe you're not in a situation where you can have two phones. Don't try to bring me down because I'm doing the thing, and you're hating because you can't do the thing. Figure out how you can get to my level, or get past my level, or whatever you want to do. But I hate when people come online and they try to put you down for celebrating your wins. And I'm not a person to brag about what I have online because I'm just not that type of dude. But I see it way too often on Twitter and other internet where if you try to celebrate a win, or you try to show people what you got for whatever reason, they are quick to try to come at you with the pitchfork. Like, oh, man, it'd be nice to have that problem, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, yeah, it's my problem. Just because you don't care or you're not in that situation doesn't mean it's not an issue for me. Or just because I'm able to afford two phones and you can't, how is that a knock on me? That's not a Viper problem. That's a you problem. That's a unique situation to you. Like I said, I know it sounds heartless, bro, but some people be hating just because they hating. I'm like, I'm not hating on you. I mean, how many creators out there that are making 10 times the amount of money I make? I don't spend my time on the internet hating on them because they make more money than me or they have more technology than me. I'm trying to level up. But I got people out here bitching at me because I got two phones or I brought a new computer and they mad because they can't afford it. I'm like, no, I'm not here for that, bro. Miss me completely with that trash. If you're not going to put in the work, don't get mad at me because I'm putting in the work and you're not.
Yeah, I look at it this way. I'll say it's cool to disagree with people, but I'm not going to look at somebody and say, oh, well, they got 4 MacBooks sitting at home. How dare they? Like, no, it's just, they worked for them. They bought them. They got 4 MacBooks. They got 4 MacBooks. If they got 10 PCs, whatever, who cares? They got 18 watches. That's them. It's not me.
They can spend their money how they see fit. Exactly. So let's talk about another tweet that you just put out earlier today. You are thinking about removing the YouTube Studio from your phone.
Yeah.
Funny because I see Jason in the chat, and I just chatted with him. I just said hello to him a minute ago, and I remember he put out a tweet maybe a year or two ago about how he was going to look at the Creator Studio less. So what is happening that you are going to take the Creator Studio off your phone?
So originally, the reason why I put the YouTube Studio app on my phone was because a couple of years ago, I would respond to some comments, but it was like I would respond to maybe 1 or 2 comments. And then after a while, I'm like, I kind of feel like, like a D-bag or whatever, because, you have people come to your channel. What's the thing we always say? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the like button. And so here I am asking somebody who doesn't know me, who's taking a chance on my content, and asking them for all this shit, and I can't respond to a comment. And so I put the YouTube Studio app on my phone for like ease of use, right? So instead of having to go hop on the computer, respond to the comment, hop off, go do something else. There would be times where I would be outside, or let's say I'm in the car, or I have like the smallest amount of downtime, and a comment to come through, and I would go ahead and respond to the comment. And a lot of people were like, "Whoa, you actually respond to comments? Like, I just left this comment like 2 minutes ago." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get a notification on my phone, and sometimes I'll talk in the chat." But after a while, it got to the point to where I was spending more and more time responding to comments just out of nowhere. Like as soon as I got the notification, I respond, or as soon as I see it, I go ahead and respond. And it got to the point to where if you have a video that gets a lot of views, or let's say it blows up or spreads out, it's just comment after comment after comment, and you're still feeling that guilt inside of your head, like, hey, it's a new person, they don't know you, this is somebody different, make a good first impression, at least say something, respond to them, because there's so many other creators that don't respond. And then after doing that for so long, like, weeks and months and stuff go by, you realize, and you like go, let's say you go into the app usage or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The number one used app that was in my phone was YouTube Studio. I spent and on iPhone you get like this weekly report, and on Samsung you can see like how much you're using every week for the past month to 2 months has been 100% like straight up YouTube Studio. I was in YouTube Studio more than I was in Twitter or YouTube, and that says a lot. And like today was just that day that I was like, look, I'm cool with y'all, but I need less of this intervening in my life. Like I'm at work and I got one message coming in saying I have to go fix a computer, and I have another comment coming in saying you're a trash YouTuber, you're just gonna switch back to your iPhone. I'm like, all right, that's enough. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and from now on I'm just gonna take like 15 or 20 minutes out of my day when I get home, hop on the computer, go in the comment section, answer some questions, and then turn that part off. Like the last thing I need to be doing is responding to a comment when I'm trying to watch Turning Red with my kid, and he's having a good time and I'm trying to enjoy the movie, and you're a D-bag. Oh, it's enough. Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Like I told you offline, Trent. See, this is the consequence of you being famous, bro. When you make a video that gets 25,000 views, bro, you gonna get some comments.
It's about access though. Like, I don't want to shut everybody out. That's not what I'm doing. But I don't want to have everybody at my doorstep as soon as I wake up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I got you. Oh, oh man, it's funny. And before Jason just left here, he was talking about how he took the YouTube Studio off his phone multiple times just to have because he thought that sometimes they could mess with his headspace. And I've heard that from other people before about how, like you said, like how having that app on your phone, if you catch yourself like being too deep into it, it can really mess with your headspace, especially as it relates to like how a video performing and different things like that, and answering all the comments. So yeah, I've been talking a lot lately on the channel about taking care of your headspace, protecting your neck and different things like that. So whatever you got to do that, if that means deleting the app from your phone, then hey, you got to delete the app from your phone. Speaking of headspace on YouTube, I'm pretty sure that you were in Coffee Talk the morning that we were talking about taking a break from YouTube and all that stuff. But I didn't really get a chance to talk to you like one-to-one, at least not that much. So curious to get your thoughts about the conversation that we had, and just for those who are listening, I'll rehash it. So Colin and Samir put out a video, I think last week or the week before last, about why Emma Chamberlain took a break from YouTube. And in the video, they were talking about how YouTube doesn't really do enough to foster the idea of creators taking a break. I'm of the mindset that when you're a content creator on YouTube, YouTube is not your employer. It is not their responsibility to tell you how to run your channel. They are giving you a platform to build a business so you can run that business as you see fit. And for those of y'all who were here yesterday, I was talking to Taylor to talk about the same thing. But I'm just curious to get your thoughts, Trent, on how do you feel about YouTube and the tools that it does or doesn't give creators to like take a break. Like, do you feel like it's YouTube's responsibility to foster a better environment for taking a break, or do you feel like that's up to the creators? Like, where are you at on this?
When I really think about it, because I've had some time to think about it, I think it should be a 50-50 type of thing. And should there be something in YouTube as far as, you know, taking breaks, mental awareness and stuff like that? Yes, but it shouldn't be it shouldn't be an intervention type of deal, right? Like, it shouldn't be to where YouTube grabs the reins and takes control and says, hey, we're noticing, behavior that could possibly be burnout or something. Like, you can't go full 100% holding somebody's hand, right?
Right.
At the same time, as a creator, you have to know what you have signed yourself up for. And I'll use this example. Roberto put out a tweet earlier asking if anybody was going to do Veda. And that's essentially where you do a video every single day in August. There's two ways to go about this. You can either batch record content. So let's say you record 7 videos for the week and then you schedule them out, and then they just do their thing. Or you're literally recording every single day. You're setting the camera up every single day. You're putting on makeup or putting on your clothes or dressing up or getting your content or writing stuff every single day. And it all depends on you. For some people, they can do that and not burn out. There's other people that can't do that and not burn out. So you have to know what you can handle and what you can't handle. And if you can't handle something, you have to put a plan in place to fix that problem. So for me, I used to get burnt out because I was trying to do all of this video production, and I was trying to do it on the cheapest budget with, the cheapest cameras. And I was getting burnt out because my expectation was I can do what Casey Neistat is doing. I can do what MKBHD is doing. I can do what all these other big creators are doing. I can do that even though I don't have the tools, the resources, or the time. I put that in my brain and burnt myself out trying to meet someone else's expectation that I couldn't even meet myself. And so the way that I got out of my own way is just like, look, just do what you can do. Upload what you can upload. And if you feel like, hey, if I take a week off of YouTube, my channel is going to die, then you have to put videos in place. So when you do take a break, you'll be fine. The other thing that I kind of see is people get addicted to the algorithm. People get addicted to the growth, and no one ever sets themselves up to be prepared for the downslope. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to keep seeing the numbers go up and up and up and up and up. Well, what do you do when you get a video that's 10 out of 10? Like, how do you respond to that? Do you say, oh shit, life's over, I've gotten nothing but 1 out of 10s for the past 2 months. Now I got a 10 out of 10. Oh my God. Or do you just say, hey, 10 out of 10, it's a flat tire. You go fix the tire and keep driving, and sometimes if you have to take a break, take a break. I understand if it's your livelihood, but just like you go to a job, you don't go to a job every single day and work a job every single day and spend every single last dollar, because you could be unemployed. And if you don't have any money saved up or you don't have a backup plan, you're asked out.
Yep.
So once again, should YouTube have some stuff in place? Yes, I don't believe it should be 100%, you sink or swim, because I kind of hate that mentality, because the only time we say sink or swim is after people have already known how to swim. Like, you would never throw someone in the pool who's never swam and say swim. They're going to sink. You're going to have to go rescue them anyway. But I think it's somewhat on YouTube and it's somewhat on the creator.
Okay, so let's talk about the somewhat on YouTube part. So the very Creator Studio app that you talk about removing from your phone, right? So if you open this up, I'm opening up mine right now. My last video was a 10 out of 10, and that's largely because it has nothing to do with technology. It was something different, but it's 10 out of 10. It has all the downgrade arrows that you see when the video is not performing well, and that is what it is. So should YouTube think about redoing how they handle video performance in the Creator Studio? Because if a creator comes into their studio, right, and they see a video is performing 10 out of 10, and all of the views, impression, click-through rate, average duration, everything is down, YouTube throws that in your face. They're like, bam! Your video is 10 out of 10. Your click-through rate is down. Your average duration is down. You're not doing better. Do better. So can YouTube be better about how they give creators that information and not just throw it in their face when they're not performing as they normally would? I mean, is that something that YouTube can do to be better about promoting good mental health among creators?
I think, and this is a thought, I think that there should be, because I know they have like the creators video that they release like once a week. It's like 5 minutes long and all that stuff. But there should be like a tool in place that once you get monetized, it should say, hey, do you want to learn all this stuff? Right? Because to be honest, a lot of this information, if you show it to regular people, if you told a regular person, man, my video got a 1 out of 10, they'd be like, man, your video sucked, didn't it? And you're like, no, I got a good video. And they're like, well, usually 1 out of 10 means bad and 10 out of 10 means good. If you see a movie review, 10 out of 10 people liked it. That's a good thing. YouTube, it's the reverse.
Right.
A lot of people don't really know the analytics beyond the first page anyway. Like, the first page is like a really, 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 really dumbed down version. And then when you start to click on other stuff, it gets really, really, really complicated. It's even gotten to the point to where people who have been on YouTube for a long period of time are still interpreting what a lot of the stuff means. So I think YouTube could do a better job at explaining stuff and having other things in place, because it's just a big whole mess of stuff to click on, and to me it seems very messy.
Yeah, my thought is that instead of the 1 out of 10s and the arrows and everything like that, maybe if you want to talk about YouTube promoting better mental health for creators, maybe they can make the analytics less performative. And what I mean by that is, I don't know, I kind of feel it's kind of weird. Like, when you go into your YouTube studio and you see your video doing 1 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, it's almost like a participation trophy. They want to let you know how you're doing, whether that be good or bad, but they want to let you know how you're doing because you showed up and you made a video. But maybe if YouTube were to change it to where they just gave us the base analytics like views, CTR, average duration, and not have all the little arrows or other indicators that they use, maybe it might be a little bit easier. Maybe, I don't know. I think ultimately, I think a lot of it still, regardless of what YouTube does, in my opinion, it's up to the creator, because again, your YouTube channel is your business. You don't get a W-2 at the end of the year from YouTube. You get a 1099, which means you are an independent contractor. That is your business. You have to run that as you see fit. So as me and Roberto were talking about, I think last week here or the week before last, when you want to take a break from your channel, you as the creator have to have systems in place so you don't lose views or money. If you don't have the systems in place, then you can still take a break, but you knowingly take that break with the knowledge that you're going to lose views, you're going to lose money, and that's just the way most industries work. If you're not present there to perform the job, that brings people in, or you're not there to supply the demand or whatever, you're going to lose out on that. And that's with YouTube or anything in life. So it's just a consequence of our actions.
Yeah. I mean, I know I read they're like, oh, numbers never lie. Look, they don't, but they can be misleading, and if you misinterpret them, then I mean, you can possibly screw up. Let's take click through rate, because that seems to be the thing that people always talk about. Now, I've had the widest ranges of click through rates ever. I've had videos that came out the gate with 38% click through rate, never got above 1,000 views. Then I've also had videos that came out with 3.3 click through rate, and then a week later it went up to 10% or 11% click through rate, went back down, went back up. So this like obsession over click through rate is like kind of crazy, and it's kind of at the point to where I don't even look at the click through rate anymore. I would rather have somebody just look at the thumbnail and I just be like, look, tell me what you think this means. Okay, would you click on it? Is it too much going on? Do you understand what's going on? Is it interesting or whatnot? But I can't even base what I'm gonna do with my videos off of click through rate anymore. I can't, because it's an unreliable metric for me. And even when I used to look at click through rate and say, well, this must be working. If you get a 19% click through rate on one video, and then you get a 2% click through rate on another video, and the only thing that changed was maybe a different topic. You had the same camera, you had the same energy, you had almost the same tags, similar description, almost the same thumbnail, but just a little bit different. And there's like that wide variety. You kind of start to overthink stuff, and overthinking leads to burnout as well. So that's just, like I say, if you see something that's working, focus on that. But there's too much information for people to be worried about, and they're not even a full-time creator. Like when you're a full-time creator, that's a whole different thing. But if this is like a side gig or a hobby or whatever, then I don't worry about half of that stuff. It's just too much.
Yeah, I think the conversation changes if we're talking about a person that is just doing YouTube as a hobby to a person that's doing it full time. I remember during that thing Coffee Talk, we were talking about the community tab and how bad it is and how people don't use it, this, that, and the other, and how people are arguing about how it could be better. And my said in the room that time that if you are arguing about the community tab and how good it is or isn't, chances are you are taking YouTube seriously, and you're probably doing it full time, or you're on your way to doing it full time, because those are the only people that are really going to care about how good the community tab is or isn't. So I don't know. It's weird, but I think there needs to be more individual accountability when it comes to this stuff as well, because again, there is no hierarchy to running a YouTube channel. Like, you don't report to a boss or manager. You are the boss. You are the CEO. So it's up to the individual creators to take accountability and responsibility for what is happening with them and their channel. And I think a lot of creators, like Roberto had said before, when they start a channel and they become accidental entrepreneurs, they're not prepared and they don't understand what to do or how to manage things properly. But if you're going to be doing this YouTube thing seriously and for doing it full time, you got to learn. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out quick.
I wish there was more information, and not into the sense of where you have to like dig it down into very specific things, but I wish there was more. I don't know, maybe it's a legal thing, I don't know, but I wish there was more information on like finances, like stuff with YouTube, because a lot of stuff that you find is, hey, if you make a video and it's sponsored, you're legally required to do XYZ and this, that, and the other. But there's not a whole lot that really explains the finance part of YouTube to a certain degree. And for instance, like when you first get monetized, you're like a month in the hole or something like that, or sometimes you'll be 2 months in the hole. And there's a lot of times where I look at my revenue and it was like, oh yeah, you're gonna get you have $250 worth of revenue. Okay, well, that's for the past 28 days. Well, I have to go here and I have to go to March to see what I'm actually supposed to make and get paid on the 21st. And then even when you do that, you have to then, okay, we roll that into the next month, but what's the cutoff for that? So it's a lot of times you can get kind of confused, because I remember one time it said I was supposed to make like $1,000 or whatever. And I was expecting that on the 21st, but that wasn't the case. I actually had to go into AdSense to see the deposit that was coming out. And it was actually lower because the super chats and all the stuff that I got was after the cutoff. Whereas when you go to most jobs, you usually know way in advance exactly what you're going to get. You know, even if you're hourly, you have it where your checks kind of cut off every 2 weeks, or the 1st and 15th of the month, or the 15th and 30th, however people do it, or whatnot. So when you go to YouTube and they say, we're going to pay you once a month, that's a huge life change for a lot of people. And I'm not a full-time YouTuber, and I get stressed out thinking like, oh man, I'm only going to get paid from YouTube once a month. Jesus. So yeah, I wish there was a little bit more in that.
Yeah, that's definitely a new level of management that people have to figure out. Getting paid once a month. Yeah, that's definitely different from what we are normally accustomed to, for sure. But let's get back to some more tech stuff here. So there was a recent report that Apple is thinking about moving over to a subscription service for their hardware for people buying iPhone via subscription. And I thought either you commented or you tweeted that you would not have any part of that. Talk about your feelings on the iPhone subscription service, the proposed one, I should say.
It's a lease, and that's basically that's what we're going to call it. It's a forever lease. You're never going to own the phone, because you're going to have to turn it back in. And if you don't turn it back in, you're going to get another phone that you have to lease. And for some people, leasing is perfectly fine with them. They are totally cool with it. Some people who even get their phones, especially if it's like on some sort of like recurring payment, they can use that payment to, with their job, and their job will pay for it. There's all these like different hidden benefits, right? But at the same time, when you're leasing a phone, you're responsible for that phone. If I take my phone, and it all depends on how the lease goes with Apple. If I take my phone right now and I drop it and it breaks, that's on me. If I scratch it up or whatever, it's still on me. But I don't have to turn this back in. I don't have to return it in a certain sort of condition. Sometimes in some leases, even if you have an insurance plan on there and you turn it back in a certain type of way, or it doesn't have XYZ, you could be on the hook for some stuff. So I just want people to know that, yes, you're essentially renting an iPhone, but there's other stuff that comes with it, if you lose it or whatnot. And then the other thing is phones have gotten to the point now where it's not like it was 5 to 10 years ago. 5 to 10 years ago, if you got a phone, there's something crazy new coming out next year, so you want that.
Right.
This phone, this iPhone, except for the camera, is 99% of what it was with the iPhone 8. The only difference has really been Face ID, the camera, and the screen. OS is the same. It's the same fluidity and stuff like that. I've even talked to some of the people I work with. I straight up asked them, I'm like, when would you get another phone? Like, when would you upgrade? And the lady there, she was like, whenever the phone stops working.
Yep.
I'm like, how long have you had your phone? And you're like, I think I've had my phone for about 4 or 5 years now. So I think it's a good idea for people who want to get the new phone every single year. But once again, it's a recurring payment that you have to do. And I personally, I'm feeling the subscription fatigue. Like, I am tired of got to pay for this, got to pay for that. Here's this payment. Here's this microtransaction. And I just personally, it's not for me. I think for other people, it might make sense, but not for me. I'd rather just buy a phone. And if I want to keep it, I keep it. You know, if I want to sell it, I'll sell it later on. But I just don't like the subscription model.
Yeah, it definitely lacks that ownership feel. Like you said, it's basically a perpetual lease. So you have the phone for a year, and then you end up giving it back, and you have to give it back in the same condition that you got it. I remember because that's how I pay for my phones. I pay for it. I'm on an iPhone upgrade plan with a Verizon. And I remember one year I did some damage to the phone, and I had to get a replacement via insurance. And luckily, I had insurance, so I was able to get a replacement. But when it came time to turn the phone back in to get the newer phone that year, there was an issue because they were like, well, this isn't the phone that we gave you. And I'm like, no, it's not the phone I gave you. I had to get it replaced because of the insurance claim they gave you. Guys, give me a new one. So yeah, there's that whole situation you have to deal with as well. I mean, the situation works itself out, but it's just weird things like that where when you don't own the device, you got to deal with that stuff. So it's interesting. But on the flip side though, if you're not balling like Trent or Tech King Mike in the chat there, and you can't pay for your phone outright, you might want to think about a subscription plan. You know, it makes it easier to pay for the device, and you don't have to worry about paying out lump sum up front. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, you do what's comfortable for you, and that's how you move out.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you talk about that, every time you talk about me being rich, man, I just look at all the stuff in your background.
Listen, man, just because you blurry don't mean I see that gaming chair you sitting there, bro. Don't be trying to pretend like you poor out here. No. We know better. We know better.
So Viper, how much did you pay for your chair?
How much did I pay for my chair? My chair was a lot of money. Let's just put it that way.
You know how much I paid for this? I paid $125 at Sam's Club.
I love how you said at Sam's Club.
At Sam's Club, okay?
Sam's Club,
all y'all out here with these secret Titan Lab Super Megazord Supreme arching back chairs. All you people that can lean back and at 180 degrees, like, look, I'm stuck at 90 right here, okay? I'm on a budget.
Listen, man, I'm looking at your headphones, bro. How much you pay for them headphones? Because those ain't cheap, son. Just saying.
Well, I got a good discount on these because
we got them.
I got nope. I got to get. Okay, we'll do this. How much did you pay for yours?
I paid full price. I got these when they renewed to like what three.
Oh, wait. How much?
$350. Yours are the same price. So what are you talking about? Oh, what are the same price?
I bought these from GameSki for $115.
Oh, you cheated! You cheated, bro! Oh, you cheated, man! Oh, man!
I'm not spending $300. I'm not spending $350 on
this man is out here cheating, y'all. He cheating, bro.
I'm not. Yo, look, I rocked a pair of Soundcore Q30s that El Jefe had recommended. Those things were $84. I rocked those for a whole year.
Hey, those are the truth. This man is cheating, though. Cheating. Are those the XM3s or XM4s you're wearing?
These are the XM4s.
Oh, okay. Oh, you really cheating.
So,
man, cheating,
$115, man.
Cheating out here, y'all. Cheating.
Hey, Mike. Hey, how much was that microphone?
Oh no, don't you mess around, bro. This is the legendary studio microphone. Don't hate, baby. Don't hate. Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about the price. We're not gonna talk about the price of this microphone.
How much?
Legendary microphone, okay? This microphone called money. All right?
I mean, I got one that kind of looks like it, right? You know.
Just because you got the knockoff version, don't be trying to make me look bad out here, okay? I see right through you, okay? I see right through you.
How much you pay for that camera, Viper? How much you pay for that camera?
bro, this is a brand new camera. What do you mean how much I paid too much for it? I pay, but hey,
How much you pay for it though?
Hey, what is it? 2,500 out the door before taxing? Yeah, man. But it's the new camera though. So what you trying to say, man? Yo, just because you get pawn shop deals on your camera, bro, don't be coming out here. Don't be coming after me, man. Okay, I know how you get your cameras.
You think if I had money, I'd be going to a pawn shop?
You own the pawn shop, bro. You own the pawn shop. You be getting them good deals to the pawn shop, bro. You the pawn shop owner, bro. You the boss out here. You be like, yo, are you trying to bring that camera in? Come here, let me holler at y'all. Let me holler at you. Bro. No,
man, your shades probably cost more than my headphones.
No comment. But yeah, it's a different situation. Annette, no, Annette, the mic is not 2,500. The camera that I'm using tonight is 2,500. Not the mic.
I can't talk though. Genosis put us all to shame when he told us how much he bought some headphones for.
Bro, he didn't buy them. He he did. I think he did say he spent $2,500 on headphones, bro. Listen, man. Listen. I will not tolerate any Viper slander because y'all know what I started my YouTube channel on? A 2017 iPad Pro. You leave me alone, okay? You leave Viper alone, all right? My microphone was the 2017 iPad Pro. My video camera was the 2017 iPad Pro. I will not tolerate any of y'all slander. Y'all leave me alone. Okay.
Hey, we all got humble beginnings.
Bro, your boy Viper moved up. Although I will say that shout out to my man Jonathan Morrison for gifting me this lens, man. Whew, this lens is the truth, man.
Yeah, he sent me.
Yes,
because I never would have bought this because I'm like, who the fuck pays $100 for a mouse?
Yeah,
I'm like,
what? You move it. That is the greatest computing peripheral ever.
Look, hear me out. I didn't want to pay $100 to click on the screen because
oh my god,
I was perfectly fine using a regular USB mouse, and I was fine with that. However, like we said before, sometimes you just have to try things out to experience them. Now that I've tried this out and I've been using it for almost 2 months, it's like I get it. Like I understand why somebody would go out and spend the money on it.
Yeah.
Another example, I really don't like to spend a lot of money on cases. Once I found out that they sold cases on Amazon between $8 and $16, I was all over it. And so this is the D brand case for the iPhone. And I never would have bought this case on my own because I'm like, I'm not paying that much money for a case. But Tech King Mike had sent me out this case. Never tried a D brand case ever before in my life. And after trying it, I'm like, okay, I can understand why somebody would pay this much money for it. I get it now why somebody would, put the different, vinyl stickers and stuff on the back and switch them out. Like, I get it. I wouldn't have gotten it unless someone else got me into it or I tried it. So that's where I will defer to other people when, they spend their money on something. It's like, okay, I get it. Even with that studio monitor, I was just like, bro, $1,600 for what? And then I went and saw it in person. I'm like, okay, would I personally buy it? No. But do I get it? Yes.
Taking TJ with me.
Gotcha.
Hey, man. From a guy who knows a thing or two about a Norfolk $1,000 monitor, hey, sometimes you get what you pay for, bro. I'm just saying. Sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yep.
Listen, Elvira, my cookies were chipped ahoy a time ago, but I moved up. My cookies are now fancy, okay? I got bougie cookies. My little Gary Bakery cookies are legit.
Bougie cookies.
Bougie, 12 cookies, $72. And I will gladly pay it again whenever I want some more because those things are good. Jonathan, hey, you can do that. Hey, that's what taxing them. Write them off, man. Write them off. What's up, Bruce? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Listen, man, sometimes you have to pay for the finer things in life, Trent. Sometimes you have to pay for the finer things. Sometimes the finer things are worth extra money, my dude, as you know. I don't have to tell you.
Oh, no, I get it. It's just sometimes you're not in the position to get those things, No.
Sometimes
it's very like, okay, my monitor that I have right now, This monitor retails for, I think, like $1,000, maybe $1,100. And this was the monitor that Everyday Dad had. Now, I personally would have not been able to take $1,000 and sit it to the side for a monitor, right? For me, that's a whole ass set of tires, brakes, windshield wiper fluid, oil change, like all this other stuff. Because the last thing that you want to do is say, I got $1,000 monitor, but my car is out there sitting on E or got the check engine light because I didn't have the money to put towards it. Luckily, the deal was I go drive 8 hours one way and 8 hours back the other way to go get it. And that was how, we basically worked it out. But that's also the reality that I'm starting to come to terms with a lot of people, is that most people who watch our videos don't have multiple phones. Most people don't have DSLR cameras and have this and have that or whatever. So it's very hard for me to talk to your everyday person about, hey, I'm going to use this for 42 hours and then I'm going to use this 72 hours later and then I'm going to use something else. It's just like, no, most people are going to buy it once and use it. So they want to know more about it instead of us kind of doing like this rotating circle of different phones. So that's why I'm just sticking just to these two phones.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, if we are tech creators, then in some aspects we are no different from the tech publications out there. Meaning that when technology evolves and new technology comes out, then it is our responsibility in some aspects to go get the new technology and let people know in case they want to buy it. So, in that regard, I mean, yeah, you want to move to the new technology so you can talk about it. But yeah, I agree with you. Most normal people aren't carrying two phones, and hell, they keep on for 3, 4, 5 years at this point. They don't have a DSLR camera or mirrorless camera. They're not. But here's the other thing, and it kind of alludes to what you just said. The people who watch our videos do not care about the equipment that we use to make our videos. They don't care. So while I can tell you guys that I'm using the Sony A7 IV and I have the M1 MacBook Pro, the people that watch my videos, they don't care about that stuff. They just want me to make videos about stuff that is relevant to them. And at the end of the day, that's all they care about. They don't care about the equipment that I use. I buy this equipment because it makes my job easier and it makes my workflow easier, but my viewers don't care about that. They just care about the content.
Yep.
At the end of the day. But it goes back to the argument that we were talking about earlier about you got to do what's best for you and the boundaries within the boundaries of what you can afford. I'm fortunate because I happen to have a good job and I happen to be a single dude with no responsibility, so I can pretty much do what I want as far as money wise, as long as the bills are paid. So I have that luxury, but I know other people don't have the same luxuries I have because they have families, they have other responsibilities, maybe they're schooling or whatever. So you got to do what you can do within your lifestyle. So it is what it is with that. I will. Which microphone are you using? You're using one of the what is that? The MB8057 or what is that?
This is the MV7.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha. It sounds good.
Yeah. So it's just got the micro USB cable going into the back of the Mac Mini.
All right. Let me ask you something I asked Drew last night. Now I know you don't really focus on Apple too much, although I know you have Apple products, but where do you see Apple going next as far as their next big frontier in tech? I mean, obviously the iPhone is pretty much at its peak. A MacBook, the iPad is what the iPad is. So where do you see Apple going next as far as their next big major technology category?
How far are we talking? We're talking like next year, 5 years, 10 years.
I'm just mean like the next big thing in technology. What did I say? Next year, 5 years, whatever it is.
I think the big thing for them is like that AR, VR type of concept, because they touched on AR a little bit with whenever a new product comes out, you can take your iPhone and you can see like an AR projection of it, but not many people really know about that. Like we know about it as tech creators, but
Right.
there's not really a way to implement it. And with the VR, I get it mixed up all the time because it's fucking the same shit. But with the VR, with people getting more immersed into what's the headset that you have, the Oculus?
Yeah, I got the Oculus Quest 2.
Yeah, so I think going into that and having that be more of a thing, I can see them going into that and people having their Apple TV experience through that, or having like Memoji conversations, or even going to like an Apple event and you have your VR stuff on, like you're in the crowd or whatnot, and you're seeing it through the lens of a camera. That type of stuff, or even if, like, let's say like the NBA were to set it up to where you put on, like, let's say you have a subscription to the NBA through Apple TV, or you have a subscription through the NFL through Apple TV, and have different cameras on the sidelines. So it's as if you're at the game, but you're watching it through that lens, like through the virtual stuff. And Apple is facilitating that, and you're paying that money. So people who don't want to go buy a ticket, go park their car, go sit in the stands can experience that, or maybe even experience movies that way, because we've already had that taste of where you can watch movies at home through your TV, but let's say you provide a AR VR experience with Studio Max with the glasses. Essentially, you're putting a theater on your head and you can experience it as if you were in the movie theater, but you're doing it from your home. So I think it has more so to do with the with entertainment and in accessibility as far as that future goes. And I think it's going to have more to do with Apple TV and games and stuff like that, and having that be on a separate medium.
I would love the whole theater on your head aspect. That would be amazing. But that would also require a good sound source as well. Maybe a sound bar or something like that. But that would be cool though. That would be cool if they could pull that off. That would be awesome. All right, I don't want to hold you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I got some time, because they just my girlfriend informed me that her and TJ went out, so I'm like, all right, I got a little more time.
Cool. Okay. Oh, here's a question for you that's non-tech related. Yep. What do you want the Browns to do with Baker Mayfield? Because they kind of effed that up.
So it's interesting.
I know, right? Crazy.
What the Browns should do is that, this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. The Browns should meet with Baker and be like, look, I effed up. You effed up. I did some wrong stuff. You did some wrong stuff. Since we want to both go our different ways, and there's a possibility that Deshaun is probably going to be suspended, because ain't no way, even if he's found completely innocent, ain't no way we know the NFL is not going to let him get off the hook. So Baker, we will let you get back on the field. You can go do what you want to do, because if Deshaun's suspended, no one's expecting us to make it to the playoffs anyway. Go out there and do your thing. Go show the world what you can do, and that'll raise your value anyway. Because why would we cut you and pay you all that money and not get anything out of the deal anyway? So go out there, show everybody that the injury wasn't it was all because of the injury. Next year, or he can sit down the rest of the half of the year, doesn't even have to play in the cold, and then you're free. You can go do whatever you want to, and kind of just go from there. That's about really the only thing, because everything else is kind of like a bad situation, because there's not many places where he can go to start. Like, there's not many places where he can literally go and start from day one. There's not going to be many people out there that want to pay that want to pay the Browns $18 million to have somebody be a backup, and he also has a temperament with social media that a lot of people don't want that attention. Like right now, Cleveland's on Front Street. Cleveland is on Front Street simply because of their quarterback. And there's other teams that don't want that attention right now. They just want to just go out and do their own thing.
You talk about what the Browns should do with Baker Mayfield. If I'm Baker Mayfield, my response to you, sir, is why the hell should I put myself out there and possibly get injured and then have no value to nobody? Like, why would I do that?
Well, I mean, here's the situation that Baker's in. Within 1 week, Baker went from a quarterback that you could see him going to a couple of teams with. Like his value was up here because the Browns hadn't had a commitment to Deshaun. Now that you took Deshaun, who had 22 cases against him that's still being litigated, you gave him $230 million guaranteed. Wow. What does that do to the value of Baker Mayfield, who's on the hook for $18 million? The Browns literally came out and said, hey, we will take somebody who is currently being investigated in civil suits for 22 acts against women, whether it be true or false. We would rather take that guy. We would rather give his previous team 5 draft picks and give him $230 million guaranteed for the next 5 years.
Jesus.
We would rather do that than take you at $18 million for 1 year. If that isn't the fastest way to tank your quarterback's value, I don't know what is. I'll put this into terms that everybody can understand. And
let me
where is it?
Where we at? There we go.
Never mind. I will put this into terms. Earlier this year, Team Pixel sent me out a Pixel 6 Pro for free. I did not have to pay for it. They sent it to me for free to review, to use the phone, and they said I could keep it. After a month, I was so fed up with that experience that I went out and bought an iPhone 13 Pro Max with my own dime to replace it. What did that do to the value of the Pixel 6 Pro? How can I take the Pixel 6 Pro and say, oh yeah, I got a Pixel 6 Pro if anybody wants it, here, let me sell it to you. After I said that, you think I'd be able to sell that phone to somebody and be like, yeah, here, pay $800 for this phone. Wait, you just told me that you paid $1,100. You paid $1,200 for another phone to get away from the phone that you got for free. Who in their mind, would look at me and say, "Oh man, I'm getting a really good deal on that."
Oh my god! This man's like, listen, the Pixel 6 Pro was so not on the level that I went out and I brought an iPhone. Damn your free phone! I'm gonna buy an iPhone to replace it. Damn. Like, yo. Before I lose myself, shout out to my man Tech King Mike for becoming a channel member. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Welcome to Vibe Nation, man. Appreciate you.
I mean, that's the way I got to break it down. If you had a used car, that you're driving around, and all you do every single day is go on social media, man, I fucking hate this car. This car is trash. I can't wait to move from this car. I'm so sick of it. And everybody's like, man, it's really that bad? Yeah, it fucking sucks, dude. I'm looking for another car. And then you see a nice Maserati going down the street, and you're like, you know what? That Maserati, I'm gonna have to pay a lot of money to get it. It's gonna have to be in the shop because it's a high maintenance car, but that's the one I want. You finally get it, and now you have this car that you've been talking shit about the whole time, and then you go to sell it. Oh, I want full price for that car. I want full price for this. You just got done talking trash about it for the past 5 months. Why would I pay you anything and I know you got to get rid of it because you still got a loan on that car. You still got to pay on that car for a whole nother year. And you want me to take it off your hands and give you full price? No. I could see if you said it was the greatest thing ever, but you just showed me how much you didn't want this car, but you want full price for it. No, yep. I'm not giving that to you. Yep. I'd rather let you sit with that loan and pay it off and not buy it for pennies on the dollar. Or, hey, you know what? You pay 50% of the loan, I pay the other 50%, and we call it even. But you don't even want to do that.
I've been telling y'all for like the last month. Y'all just nobody listens to Viper. Viper told y'all he's rich. Y'all told y'all he's rich.
Look, I am playing with money that I don't even have. Okay, if I could do some of this shit, then goddamn, we would totally be in a different place. Oh, I'm doing this from my bedroom.
Hey, a lot of things start in the bedroom, dude. I'm just saying. Oh God, this is why I love talking to you, man. Always good conversations, always. I can't remember if I talked to you about this before, but what are your thoughts about events returning to being in person?
I will say this. I am all for events returning in person as long as they make every single employee not cheer and whoop like a crazy person at every single thing. That's the thing that I hated. Like, I would watch the Apple events, and the Apple events were cool. You know, Tim Cook, he'd come out there, you know, dap out, peace to everybody, you know, have that strut going, and everybody's like clapping and cheering and whatnot. Cool. Applause. I get it. Hello. We have done it again. We have made everyone get on iOS. Oh my God. Just stop. Just stop. The man hasn't even finished his sentence yet. He's not even done talking. Shut up. Oh my God. I'm so excited. I was like, what?
Oh my God, you a fool, bro.
Jesus. Like, he's not even holding the phone yet.
Oh my God.
We're still at renders and specs and people over there just fainting like we're watching Michael Jackson come out on stage. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
It would drop, like, it would get to the point where they did it so much that I stopped watching the event. I would wait like 18 minutes because The Verge would come out with like the roundup of like, you know, where they just chop everything up and they just show the event. I'm like, okay, I've gotten past all of the crazy stuff. And, you know, I know Renee Ritchie said it before, like, hey, you know, the employees are real excited. They've been waiting. I'm like, okay, yeah, it doesn't need to sound like we're on a roller coaster. Okay. Is it? You hold your applause for the end.
Well, you better not watch any event with my man Techie Mike. He said they announced a matte black iPhone. He gonna feel like a girl too.
But no, that's cool. That's cool. If you're genuinely excited, I get that. But are you telling me we are so excited that we're gonna cheer at every single pause for a 2.5 hour event?
No.
I watched the Batman, okay? And that was an awesome movie. And even I didn't fucking cheer up and down every goddamn 3 seconds. Oh, look, the camera changed. Like, no.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up because now we can talk about Batman because yes. I can't
let's talk about Batman and all the shit you were talking before.
Oh my God. You know what? It's fun because when I saw Batman Begins when it first came out, I thought it was okay, but I didn't really think too much of it. But it's so weird when you watch a movie when you're younger and then you get like a few years older and you go back and you watch the same movie and your entire perspective changes. So Batman Begins went from like being somewhere in the middle tier of my hierarchy of Batman movies to now after watching it 2 weeks ago, I now feel like it is the best Batman movie ever made. Like, it is so good. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me when I was watching when I was younger, but Batman Begins is an amazing Batman movie, and I definitely enjoyed it more than the Batman. But the Batman was good. It was just different to me.
Yeah. Yeah, the Batman was different. It touched on a different note that we hadn't seen before, but a lot of people wanted. And the Batman has more of a tie to being like a Tim Burton type of movie, as opposed to like, you know, the other movies where everything's perfectly lit and you say everything, and you know, they try to make it more comic booky or whatnot. This one was a little bit darker. Yeah. But the thing about Batman Begins that was so underrated that I think a lot of people missed was the biggest driving force behind Batman was fear. It's dealing with his fear that of him losing his parents, his fear of, you know, living up to be something, and the fear that he wanted to put into criminals. And that's completely on display. Like, you see people actually afraid of Batman in Batman Begins. Like, you see it. It's there. Now, there's a couple of moments where they get the better of him or whatnot, but it still comes back around like, this is someone to be feared. Okay. It's not someone to cheer for. It's someone to be feared. Mm-hmm. When they did The Dark Knight, they took the fear away from Batman and gave it to the Joker. And because there was a lot of scenes where like people were seeing Batman, they're like, I'll take you on. I don't give a shit. Whatever. You're Batman. We're gonna take you on. No, the first movie, they were like, yo, what are you? what are you? And then, you know, the second one, this is what ruined a lot of the respect for the character. It's in the first 5 minutes. The Batmobile comes up into the parking lot. It crashes over, and it's sitting there, and it's like, okay, we're going to switch to intimidate mode. Mm-hmm. Nice. I know that this vehicle is intimidating, that you don't mess with this vehicle. Then they introduce Batman. He hits one or two people, and then he's getting owned by a pair of dogs. Now, I'm not saying that Rottweilers are pushovers, but you're taking this badass iconic character that we just got done seeing in Batman Begins, and the threat is a dog. the dudes with guns weren't a threat. The guys who were posing as Batman weren't a threat. The dog that jumped up on him and latched onto his arm and almost took his shit off, and he had to like throw the dog away. That was the biggest threat. That is what did the most damage. Yep. Then he glides down, lands on top of the vehicle or whatever. That doesn't do anything to him. And then, you know, he takes off. And then later on in the movie, what do we see again? We see the Joker waiting with not an army of dudes, not with a bunch of traps. We see the Joker waiting with a pipe and dogs.
Dog, yep.
What? You're telling me that? So we watched Batman Begins. He trained with the League of Shadows. He trains with Ra's al Ghul. He learns how to disappear. He learns how to use deception. He trains his body, builds himself up, goes through all that bullshit, flying through the streets, beats fear toxin from Scarecrow, and we have all that amazing shit. And dogs. The dogs gave him more work than any other villain. Like, it was literally like Joker was up here, then it was the dogs, then it was Harvey Dent. What else does he have to worry about?
It's some big dog. It's some big dog, bro. Yeah, yeah. You bring up a good point, man. The dog thing was kind of weird.
And the villain hero thing, I believe it was kind of more balanced. Where, like I said, The Dark Knight, it felt like it was more about the Joker being like this crazy badass. And I'll never knock Heath Ledger's Joker because that was some shit that we had never seen before. but Batman kind of took some steps back, and it was that voice, dude, that I don't know what he did from the first one to his voice, but that voice, it threw me off. But that's my own
rapping voice.
Viper, I'm going to get you right now. Like, dude, it sounds like you've been chain smoking cigarettes and
for me.
Like, I can do the voice all day. We can sit here and put a comment up on the screen, and I will do my best impersonation of it. Where is the trigger? dude, what? Where's the trigger? Oh my god. You have laryngitis, sir, and I think you need help. I feel like your lungs are bleeding trying to talk to me.
Yeah, the voice. I remember when we
no. Put up Tech King Mike's one with
which
the
one?
Arguing. Where it says argue.
Oh,
argue with your mama. I mean, like after a while, you're just like,
Mike. I just watched these movies. I remember all these quotes. This is funny.
Fear the S22 Ultra because it has a telephoto camera and it can beat the iPhone better than anything else. Who needs iMessage? I don't need iMessage. You need iMessage.
You wouldn't give it to an ordinary citizen.
Oh my! See, look, fucking vocal cords hurt right now.
Right. Yeah, I don't know who came. I remember when those movies first came out. We were clowning on the way, bro. We were clowning on the way like 15 years ago or 20 years ago when the movie came out. Like crazy. Yeah, the voice was definitely left a little bit to be desired.
Man, look.
Oh god.
Tell me where the lightning port is.
Where's the port of iPhone?
I mean, you can't take it seriously. You can't. No matter what you say, you could take that voice and say anything to somebody, and it doesn't even come off as scary. It's just creepy as shit. It feels like a young, angry Clint Eastwood.
That is an oddly specific reference.
Like I thought of Clint Eastwood in like Gran Torino. Oh, get off my lawn. Like all that is just a little bit younger, a little more angst.
This live stream went left when we left.
I mean, yeah, and that was just a second movie. Like the third one came out, and you had a chance to fix it, but he didn't. It's like he doubled down on it.
Yeah,
and Bane whooped his ass with a high voice, which was really surprising because every single person that has voiced Bane has had like a deep Spanish accent, and then for whatever reason, Bane just. It would be extremely painful. What?
For you.
Oh, Mr. Wayne. Stop saying his name like that, dude. Just stop. Oh, of course. Oh my God. Ain't nothing worse in the world than getting your ass whooped to somebody with a high-pitched ass voice. Okay? And I'm talking about dudes. Like, I'm not trying to be sexist with this shit, but if you had a dude whoop your ass with a high-pitched voice, you would feel some type of way.
You think the doctor to say you're alive.
Like it was like one point, where like the darkness part came and they were like, the shadows belong to me. I'm like, okay, that's threatening. That's threatening. Keep that same energy. Just I don't know.
Oh god. Yo, Mike, when he said that, he didn't have like the uber rappy work when he said that. He kind of toned it down when he said that though. I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Yeah, what if he that's the voice that we needed. And a lot of people are like, well, why are you so critical of Christian Bale? Why? Because there's a man that exists that is the standard for Batman voices. His name is Kevin Conroy.
Yes.
If you don't know who he is, look him up.
Yes.
And look how that man switches between Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Oh my God.
It's a very dedicated switch, and it's a very stern, iconic voice.
Yeah.
The man has done the voice for the past 30 years.
Yes.
Like, that's the standard. Just like everybody's like, hey, Michael Jordan's the GOAT. That's the standard that he set. Fucking Kevin Conroy is the standard.
Yeah.
He is the standard. Once you hear his voice and you compare it to everyone else's, it's like, oh my God.
Not even fair. I completely agree. Kevin Conroy, man, amazing. And it's funny because, like you say, he's been doing that voice for 30 years, and he's still probably the best Batman voice ever.
Yo, Mark, that is a legend. No, put Mark's comment up there. That's legendary. I've always said that he beat my ass, but at least his voice was deep. That's perfect, man. That's like the best quote of the day.
I can't. Yeah, when Ben was like, "Do you feel in charge?" He went a little deep there. He went a little deep.
Right, like you could tell when Bane was like real serious because it got to that level, you know, where he was like, after he said it would be extremely painful for you.
For you,
like oh.
Yeah. Oh man, I love Batman. Pattinson did all right. He didn't knock it out the park. He did all right.
He did good. Actually, I'll say he did great because for the longest time, everyone looked at Robert Pattinson as, you're the fake vampire from Twilight. And even I looked at him that way because they made so many Twilight movies. But I forgot. When I went and watched the movie, I completely forgot that he was in Twilight. I'm like, I'm seeing him as Batman. I see it now. I was one of the people that was like, really? You guys got this dude to play Batman? And I talked a whole lot of shit, and Jesus Christ, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. He changed my expectations of what he could do as far as his acting range with that. Completely changed it. Another person that did that was Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck, if you watched him, you know, growing up, most of his movies are rom-coms, you know, offshoots or whatever.
Right.
He really doesn't do serious roles. Not that much. And there were two movies that changed the way that I looked at Ben Affleck. The first movie was The Accountant.
Yeah, that movie was awesome.
Because when he played as the accountant, that totally shifted things.
Yep.
And then when he did Batman, and before my camera cuts off and trolls me because it's showing me like the little thingy there, you may want to record this moment so you can meme me later. But yeah, that's what changed my mind for him.
No, the question is, can you plug the camera in, or are you going to be cameraless?
Let me see. Do I have something I can plug in with all these wires here? Maybe.
Yeah, The Accountant was a damn good movie, man. Even though he didn't really talk much in that movie, but yeah, good movie. I don't think I've seen Paycheck. I've not seen that one.
Oh yeah. That's what he was like, the banker or something.
And
I didn't get it in time.
He's gone dark.
Oh well. You guys can look at the young version of me when I had hair.
Yeah, hey, so I agree. Paul Dano did a damn good job as the Riddler. He was good.
Oh man, his Riddler was crazy though, because
it was.
I had never seen a Riddler like that ever.
I hadn't either. I was like, dude, this dude's like a bona fide serial killer. I'm like, this is awesome.
That was the dope part. It was because I was expecting I was expecting more straightforward riddles. Like I wasn't expecting like the cards and like them using computers. I was expecting this dude to be on the phone like, riddle me this, Batman, and they totally did not go that route.
No, I mean, I think I knew from the trailer that they were going to go in a different direction with the Riddler, and I'm like, this is more to your point about Batman being feared. I think they made the Riddler more scary in this movie, and I think that was a pleasant change from the Batman villains of the past. Between Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, you weren't really scared of these people, but you legit should be scared of the Riddler in this movie. He was scary.
Yep, and okay, speaking of awards, I think the award of Best Actor in the movie should go to Colin Farrell. Because
I mean, is it Best Actor or Best Makeup Artist? Because I mean, that makeup artist.
No. Best Actor, because you know how sometimes if you close your eyes, you can still hear someone's voice. Like if I close my eyes, I still hear Samuel L. Jackson. If I close my eyes, I still hear what's his name? Leo.
Mm-hmm.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Like I can tell his voice.
Okay.
If I close my eyes and I listen to Colin Farrell's Penguin, I can't tell it's him. Like he had a whole completely different demeanor. He had like the New York accent. And the thing that he did, which is very hard to do in acting, is something that you notice. He changed his voice to someone that was heavy, like someone that carries weight. Because, you know, physics and stuff, like if you end up carrying a lot of weight in the Penguin, who was supposed to be a overweight character, sometimes your voice changes because you have like, you know, more pressure on your lungs and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was different. Like go watch any other movie with Colin Farrell in it and go listen to it in here. He actually sounds like he gained 300 pounds, but that's how good the acting was. I was like, holy shit. And I'm like, I couldn't tell it was him.
Yeah, he was legitimately unrecognizable. Yeah.
If you show a clip of his Penguin to anybody else and say, guess the actor that hasn't heard of anything, I guarantee you they won't guess Colin Farrell.
No, not at all. Yeah, he did work on that one. He did work in that movie. He was really, really good.
So, yep.
Really, really good. But yeah, like I said, the Batman was good. I'm probably in the top 5. I don't know if it's like the greatest thing in the world, but I am looking forward to the sequel. I think the sequel, whatever they decide to do with it, is going to be very, very interesting.
I think for the sequel, they should go the route of they should revisit Mr. Freeze.
Ooh.
They should revisit Mr. Freeze if possible, or take up some of the other characters that we haven't seen on screen yet. We haven't seen the ventriloquist. We haven't seen Clayface. I'm trying to think of who else they haven't done yet, but would be like a decent character. Because every time you see Batman, you like see his cave, you see like all the like different stuff that he collected from villains. So I think, yeah, we could probably go that route. Or another group that we haven't seen is we haven't seen the Court of Owls.
I'm about to say, I didn't even know that they existed until this movie came out and people started talking about the Court of Owls. I'd never even heard of them until this year. And from doing my research on them and what they were about and different things like that, it makes logical sense that the sequel would involve them, especially how they were talking about all the families in this first movie. So I would expect to see the Court of Owls at some point in this universe.
Do you have access to HBO? You got access to HBO Max, right?
I do. Correct.
Did you watch the it's not Son of Batman. Was it Batman and Robin Bad Blood or something? I can't remember which one, but it was an animated movie where they actually had a Court of Owls.
Nope.
I will find out which one it is. Definitely go check it out. It's like a good hour and 10 minutes, but it kind of, introduces like what's going on with them.
It's not as slow as Master of the Phantasm. Yeah, although I know all y'all love that movie, but that movie was slow.
No. It's got a little bit more speed to it.
Good, cause it's crazy for me to call a movie slow, and the movie was only like 75 minutes long, and it was still slow. I'm like, damn, we get on with it already.
Well, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was writing or if it had anything to do with the series, like of what they could do or not do. But even Batman Sub-Zero had a little bit of lackluster to it. Like it kind of took a while to get things really going.
Mm-hmm.
Did you check that one out?
I have not seen that one, no.
Yeah, check out Batman Sub-Zero. It's better because it focuses more on, Mr. Freeze, but there's still some dry moments in it.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what they did with the series in it being movies.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple of the Batman animated movies. I've seen Master Phantasm, and I think the one called The Killing Joke. I've seen that one. Any other ones I have not seen, or I don't remember anyway.
Oh yeah, the Killing Joke was a trip, man.
That was crazy. That was a crazy movie. Yep.
Oh, okay. It's Batman versus Robin. That's the one it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'll have to go check that out.
Cool. That's the one that has the Court of Owls in it.
Gotcha. Okay. Sweet. I'll check that out tonight. All right. On a note, I think I've held Trent hostage for long enough. I appreciate all of y'all listening to another episode of The Lounge. Appreciate my man Trent making time tonight. So thank you, sir. Always good talking to you.
Yeah, man. I probably need to get like an external battery or something for this.
You gotta get a dummy battery, my dude.
Yeah, that or something.
Dummy batteries, man. I cannot believe that this live stream actually devolved into me and Trent trading our worst Batman voice. that is the moment of time right there.
Oh, see, that's how you got to beat burnout. Like sometimes you got to just leave the YouTube shit behind and just be a human being, have fun,
And it's funny.
I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there like, you could be working harder right now. Fuck that.
No, that's why I have this channel here. This is why when you go to this channel, you don't see any tags or any description or anything like that in this channel. I just turn the camera on and go live and have fun with this channel. I don't worry about no algorithm or nothing like that. I just have fun, and it gives me a chance to get away from all the other stuff. But obviously on the other channel,
we do gotta watch Moon Knight.
Oh yeah. Damn, I didn't do that too. Shit, I watched Batman first.
Yeah, watch Batman first.
All right, you all. Until the next time, I will catch y'all on Friday night. Y'all have a good evening. Peace.